This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Hey! What's up, Mafia? Scott coming at you from 24/7 Buf Fandemonium, and this is our Sunday sessions with Scott and Swank. Why do we call it sessions, Swank?
Because we cracking beers.
Beer. There we go. First one of the day.
You got a little all day?
All day sessions. IPA.
I did this little this cran orange, like, what the hell is it? Color beer from Jenny.
Nice.
I was hoping it was going to be more like the grapefruit Kolsch, but it's not really.
Genesee Brewery has great beer, wide selection. I know my brother Jared likes the Genesee Brewery for sure.
Oh,
guys, welcome. We're doing a little pregame like we did last week. Can't wait to talk to you guys. We got a couple things to talk about. The reason Swank and I are doing this is we like to just talk about a few more things, Buffalo Bills, with things that may have come up in the last couple days. I like to give a little weather report, 1 o'clock game, 46 degrees. And
play meteorologist.
Play a little meteorologist, And I like to give you the active rosters, but sometimes they don't come out till 12. But Swank, I'm just reading this today. I don't know if it came out earlier, and I'm just seeing it now, but Star Latulier is out. He's been put on the COVID protocol. So what's that mean? We got Tremaine Edmonds out now, middle linebacker, and we won't see it until we see it on the field. Is it going to be Tyrell Dodson who's going to spell him, or is it going to be Tyler Matevich? A lot of times we saw late in the game when they didn't need the starters out there, Tyler would come in. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of game plan McDermott and Frazier have. But what do you think? Is there going to be an impact? Obviously there is, but what kind of impact do you see with both Star and Tremaine Edmonds out?
I think you're going to see him trying to attack the middle of the field a lot. I think maybe they're going to try and run up the gut a little bit more. I know Mike White, I haven't got like a pulse on that kid yet, and obviously he's kind of like one of these people that have been in the lineup for New York out of necessity instead of like preference. Right. So, somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience, who has had mild success throwing the ball. He definitely has a chip on his shoulder and some confidence. I would love to see Jordan and Micah take a whole ton of advantage of that and maybe pick some balls off over the middle. But I think I see him trying to dump it over the middle, trying to run it up the gut. With Star out, you got that big body out of the way. And then with Tremaine, who's the guy that kind of comes up to the line and lays the hammer down, I think you can expect them to be running up the middle and trying to get them short passes over the middle off.
See, I see that happening. Like you said, Tremaine Edmonds is 6'5", 6'6", on a good day. So that lack of height presence when he's dropping back in the zone is going to be missed.
Yeah.
Our replacements, Tyler and Tyrell and Tyler, are 6 foot, 6'1", and their wingspan isn't quite what it is with Tremaine Edmonds. So I see that too. I see them attacking the middle of the field with Star out. I think it's a great opportunity for Boogie Basham to kind of prove that he may not fit the mold at the defensive end yet with all those outside edge moves, but he may be able to be aggressive enough and have to demand double teams inside one technique, two technique, and even zero technique. So I think it's opportunistic for the Jets because we're missing those two players, but I also think it's opportunistic for those two linebackers and potentially Boogie to make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you
trickery,
have a burp
Mike,
right there? Yeah, me too. I was trying to be all slick about it. See this missing
bubbles.
triplet, dude.
I got the bubbles already, But it's all up to Frazier, right? You're missing your two guys in the middle. It's all up to Frazier. You got a young quarterback in there, Mike White, inexperienced to say the least. He did dominate against the Cincinnati Bengals, which is a good win for the Jets. But do you play a trickery game? Do you try to confuse the hell out of this guy? And because we all know, even if AJ Klein comes in and spells the middle linebacker position, he's good at running after the quarterback.
Yeah.
Do we put a lot of pressure on the quarterback with these two linebackers and not drop him so much back and have us slip into a cover three, a lot of movement in the secondary? Do we try to trick him? Because we know Poyer and Hyde will be able to take advantage of that playing deep.
Well, I think right now you have to, right? Like I think what has been missing these last couple weeks with our defense, and I think that's pressure. And I think that you need to start dialing that up. I think you got somebody, like I said, in the perfect situation where you're trying to bounce back from a horrible loss to a horrible team, right? You're trying to get something going on offense. What'll spark that better than the defense just doing what they've been doing all year and stomping them out and putting their foot on their neck? I think you got to put Mike White on his ass, and I think you got to do it often, or you got to put pressure in his face and you got to create turnovers. You have to – I really think the defense – is going to have to keep playing at that same level and make a point today. And as much as we all know the offense has to, but if that defense comes in and goes, yo, here's the ball back, do something. Yo,
Yep.
We sacked them, 3 and out, do something.
Yep.
There's so much competition on that team and in that locker room and camaraderie that they pick each other up. I think right now there's no way you see this offense fall flat on their face if the defense is doing what they've been doing all year.
The Jets are giving up almost 32 points a game per game and over 400 yards total per game, their defense. Mm-hmm. And so there's no reason why our Buffalo Bills offense can't just take over. We have Spencer Brown coming back. Potentially, I still haven't seen the actual good to go until I see that he's active on the list.
The list should be coming out while we're on the air, I would think.
It did last time, yeah. Jared, I know you're watching. If you see that list come out, let us know. And then Spencer Brown being back. We know after watching last week against the Jaguars, I think we come to a realization, Swank, that maybe our offensive line is a lot better with that rookie at the right tackle.
It's 100% better. I think it's night and day.
Maybe our offensive line is better with Dawson Knox there, right?
100%.
So with the defense giving up so many points and so many yards, our offense should come in and dominate. And like you said earlier, our defense should just continue doing what they're doing. We preached all offseason, didn't we, that our depth chart, we have depth. We got rid of people that normally would be on the roster. It's time for our linebackers and defensive line to prove that we don't skip a beat when we're missing our head guys. Obviously, there's going to be a noticeable difference, but we got to just flow. The safeties and everybody else still has to do their same assignments, knowing that these guys are just going to come in and kind of pick up what Tremaine and Lutoulier are not bringing to the table today. But no, how we're talking about injuries. We're talking about Knox and Spencer coming back. That's obviously going to make our offense better. Zach Moss is off the protocol, right? Do you think the Bills bring him back today, or do you think this is the opportunity for Breida and maybe even Antonio Williams, the rookie we got out of Carolina last year,
Your
a
main
guy
coach.
that I liked, a guy that I think is kind of a hybrid between the Singletary and Antonio Williams, or do we bring in Breida, like I just said, for that speed factor? The guy is fast. When he gets in that open field and gets past the second level, good luck.
Yeah,
So,
well, I mean,
what do you think?
they've done a lot of lip service. Like when they signed Breida, right? He was a change of pace back. He was somebody that could give a spark. You heard all these buzzwords coming from Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott about how excited they were, and you haven't seen anything from him. He's dressed for what, one game, maybe two.
Yep.
I think right now, if you have Zach Moss and he's dressed and in the game, I think you have him on a snap count. And I think you have to dress a third running back that's not Tywan Jones, obviously. So a fourth running back. You have to, just in case he gets cracked again. You're obviously more susceptible.
Yep.
Maybe they want to rest him. Maybe they think that this is, cakewalk week, whatever. I hope they don't think that, because obviously last week showed that
We saw
that's
it happen
not
last
the
week.
way it needs to be. So I think that there's a good chance you see Breida or Williams dressed. I would lean towards Breida probably, just because he's got more experience and all that stuff. But I am a huge Williams fan myself, man. I think he's got a lot of heart. I think in those preseason games where he ran his ass off, and everybody saw it. And there's a lot of potential there. So, but the whole thing with the offense today is they got to do something different. They gotta do something different. We got to get our boy Isaiah back out there, I think, for some jet sweeps. We got to do some change of pace stuff. Maybe now that you got Williams moving inside and Spencer Brown back on the edge, and Dawson Knox back, the only one missing is Feliciano. And as far as I'm concerned, he was kind of rotating in and out anyway. So, you're pretty close now to the line that you started the season with. And even though we've all had our gripes and our bitches about it, I think that it's shown that they can win with the majority of that line.
With that rotation. Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
So we could now maybe go into play calling selections a little bit.
That's
Maybe
on my
we could
list.
talk
Did I
about-
maybe share the list with you
I
last
don't know
night?
if you did or yeah, I think you did. I glanced at it. Really though, this is to me isn't so much about the offense bouncing back, because we know what the offense is, right? We know what it has. We know what it looks like when the line is clicking and everybody's healthy. What do you think we're going to see today from Mr. Dable? Scotty boy.
I tell you what I don't want to see.
Oh, I love
I don't want to see the lackluster play calls where we've said, "What are you hiding? What are you hiding?" I don't want him to spew his playbook out today. I don't want to see that. But I do want to see a jet sweep. I do want to see a slip screen. I do want to see a deep ball, a call deep ball. Throw it to Diggs. Like you said last week on the K-Gun report, this is time for Diggs to show up. I don't care if he's double teamed. You throw it up there. He's our playmaker.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it on a third and long, maybe, right? Where there's that, well, it was going to be a punt anyways. If they pick the ball off 60 yards down the field and got the ball to 20, that's just like a punt.
Yeah,
you need to do that just because. So don't throw up and spew out your trick plays, Dable, but do a little something else. Do a little something else. And again, a lot of those things, the play action and the screenplays and all that stuff, is a lot better when you have a little bit of a run game established. It really is. So I think a couple more, not forced runs, but a couple more counters, maybe pull some guards. Mark Maddox was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he said the Bills' offense runs a lot better when they run those kind of a lot of movement plays with the running back and the guards pulling and the tackles pulling. So run a couple of those. You don't need to show everything, Dable, but you need to show something else to get this offense going. So, yeah, I'm good.
Real quick before I go on my Dable spiel here, we got Eater here, we got Lisa, we got our missing member Jared, we got Ryan Thomas from the Thomas Take Sportscast. If you want to check out a little bit more of Ryan, he was on the show last week. It was a great fun time with Scotty and myself, and he's got really awesome takes, and he's a good dude. We got Brent Thomason with his new biscuit jersey. Ryan Thomas said star being out's going to hurt our run D. Absolutely. We got John Johns. All of our faves, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. And, man, we've already got more viewership this week than we did last week, so that's awesome.
There you go. Spread the word. Spread the love, everyone. If you want to come on and talk a little pregame football. And the thing is, we end at 12-ish. So you have plenty of time to finish up your morning chores before the game starts.
Yeah, that, and for me, like last week, man, running around now that we've got it more together, it wasn't quite so bad running around this morning, but you end this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's only an hour till the game. And I love that.
You're kidding.
I'm on call, so I had to run into work again this morning.
Jeez. We won't get into that.
No. But anyway, we got Paul Rossi, too. Anyway, thanks so much, guys, for hanging out.
What's up, guys?
Spread the word. Share it around. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up that we'll probably touch on towards the end here. But, yeah, as far as Dable goes, man, there is that coined nickname that we gave him, that my wife gave him, Walmart Dable, right? So you got good Walmart, you got bad Walmart. Last week was the worst Walmart I've ever seen in my life, Dable. This week it's like, my bold prediction on Tuesday's show was I just wanted the offense to play a solid game. A boring, solid game. You know, just produce. I don't care. You know, I just want it to look clean. I want it to be executed. I don't need a huge yard per play kind of average or any. I'm not even looking at stats. I am just looking at them to methodically go down the field and get points. Like, that's all. And they can do that. The thing, I think a lot of this stuff, if Dable is doing what you guys alluded to and what we were talking about on Tuesday, and just kind of like seeing what the defense is giving them right off the bat instead of scripting plays for those first 10, 15, you're not in the game. You're not going in it with a solid understanding of what you're trying to do. You're trying to figure out your game plan in the first quarter. And that is like, what? You can't do that. It didn't work. It just, you could see it doesn't work. like go in there and do what you do.
You're right. You are an offense. You are an offensive team that should easily make the defense, your opponent, fall back on its heels and try to figure out what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not an offense. Dable, you don't have the talent on the team. You have the talent on the team where you don't have to rely on, let's see what the defense is giving us. You take it.
Yeah.
You take it. Doesn't matter what the defense is giving you. You make them adjust. You don't adjust to them.
Yeah. And I think that at this point, at this juncture, with all this experience and the continuity and all the years together and the time on task and the process and all this shit, you have the people, the personnel, and the confidence to go out there and do what you do. You've done nothing but got better from last year. And it seems like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, he has done everything in his power the first half of the season to do absolutely everything except for what works. Like, everything that worked last year is off the table. You know, you're not getting those balls down to Diggs. You're not getting, like, here and there to Emmanuel Sanders, sure, right? You're not getting move the pocket and let Josh be Josh. You're getting design runs up the gut, 3rd and 8 at 50-yard line. You're getting little short passes. You're getting chaos. You know, it's like it looks like the game plan you called when Josh was like a rookie or a second year. You know what I mean? Like, it's not there. And I don't understand what's different. I get that defenses figure you out, and maybe some of that stuff isn't there. To that point about Diggs, he'll go up and get it. Give him a shot.
All you have to do is look back to that last year's Miami game when he caught the. Oh, you're right.
In Xavier Howard's face. That was this year.
No, I mean last year. Remember that Josh Allen rolled out, threw the ball up. Yeah. It was a long 3rd down play. He went up between 2 people and grabbed it. Yeah. Yeah, but that Xavier Howard catch is also a prime example. Diggs can locate that ball. He can catch that ball. He can. Yeah.
He's not scared. Obviously, he doesn't want you to put the ball in a bad place. But if he thinks if he looks like he's got a step on a guy, or Josh can put it there and he can go get it. Right. Look at that Raiders game last year.
Yep.
You know, like there's a lot there. Everybody knows what they have. That's why I have such a hard time with people not at least blaming Dable a little. Like if you have a department at work and your department's not producing, yes, the employees have something to do it. Maybe it's with the way that you're managing as well, right? Like that manager is going to get a little bit of that. Like, hey, we need to pick it up. Hey, let's do something different. Any job in the world, that's what it is.
Yep.
This is no different. He doesn't
Yep.
get a free pass just because he has talent. I think that the illusion right now is that he's had all this talent and he's coasted off their backs because they're all naturally gifted.
That's a lot of talent. You can ride that carpet ride, I tell you. Yeah. I can show you the world.
A whole new
Swank,
world.
would you believe I'm going to agree with you on this? I think there's just, I think that for me, it's just three plays, right? A jet sweep.
Yes.
Okay. Take away that 3rd and 8 quarterback keeper and have him roll out because, like I said on the K-Ground report last week, when he rolls out, he can still quarterback keep it. Give the guy an option to throw the ball downfield or keep it. He's got a lot more options going that way than running up the middle where I think the defense is kind of aware that Josh Allen they like to call that play. So roll it out. So there's 2 plays. And then like Brent Thomason said, throw the ball deep. Yeah. Just those 3 plays, I think.
Yeah. That'll change the whole flow of the game. The whole dynamic. Yep. And you can do so many variations of those 3 things.
Yeah.
Right? They work with the RPO, right? And I personally, the classic RPO, the classic like Lamar Jackson, whatever, kind of where you stick it in their gut and you sit there and hesitate and you either pull it out or you give it to them, right? I don't think Josh Allen is amazing at that. I think that he's okay at it sometimes, but I think that he is such a hero and he cares so much about winning that he hesitates just a second too long to decide whether what he's going to do, just to see if somebody steps left or right or whatever. And I think that is what blows those plays up a lot of the time. But I think, to your point about him extending play, rolling outside, that is another form of RPO. Because he can still run it himself because he's a fast sumbitch, or he can bomb it downfield or throw across his body. There's a lot of those options out there, and he's amazing at improvising. So, like, why do you have to go to the textbook version of what, like, the Ravens do or whoever, you know? Why can't the Bills have their own version of it that has worked, that will continue to work? The circumstances will be different every time. Anytime he has to roll out of that pocket, it's a different look. Whatever you called is gone, and it's all just backyard. And that's exactly where him and Diggs live.
Swank, what I think the issue is that you look too much at Josh Allen. Yes, the guy gets a lot of rushing yards. He does. He improvises. He even gets rushing yards on called plays most of the time. But just because you're a great running quarterback doesn't mean the RPO is your style of running, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I love the video I saw this past week. It was Kurt Warner breaking down the Buffalo Bills game. Okay, guys, and this guy's doing something awesome. He's breaking down. It's his take is it's a game of yards or missed yards, right? And he brought up that exact point. To your point, Swank, that RPO. He's like, there's a point where Josh Allen, when you read a play quick, like on those wide receiver screens, and you're still doing the RPO, you're wasting that 1 second on that play action. If you see that play open, forget that RPO part and just rip the guy the ball.
Yeah.
And I love that you brought that up because Fandemonium Mafia, if you're listening, go look up Kurt Warner, a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winning quarterback, and his big gripe against the Bills Jaguars game was the fact that Josh Allen was, I think, too concerned with following through with that play action. Sometimes you just need to drop it. It's called that way, but he's open now. He's open now. And I love that take. I think it says a lot. There were a lot of missed plays, a lot of missed yards that the Bills had last week against the Jaguars. And even Kurt Warner said that. That's like a month's worth of missed yards. So those little things play a big role for sure.
Sure. Well, and I think so there's a difference between play action and RPO, right? Like RPO, you have a decision. Play action for the most part is fake.
I think some of those pass patterns are called to look like an RPO, but it's an actual pass because sometimes you don't see that line charge forward as if either the quarterback's going to run it or the running back.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that's great as long as it's scripted right and everybody understands what's going on, right?
Right.
So if it's a fake play action RPO, like, which is like starting to get into like, huh?
I mean, some RPOs do have the wide receivers blocking right away,
Sure.
and it's like an RPO, but someone's getting the ball to run it. And then there are RPOs where the wide receivers are running patterns, and you're running a pattern in such a way where if Josh Allen does keep it, it's usually a man defense. The corner is following you downfield, and he's not going to know the quarterback's running the ball until he notices something's off. So,
gotcha.
I misspoke when they said the line doesn't search for it because I don't think they do 99% of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, man. I think that, obviously they need to bounce back. This needs to be something where they reclaim their throne, because the media stuff, I hate it. I liked it better when we were the lovable losers and we were winning and nobody cared. Like, I like that a lot better than this, because it's like, all this hype and then the bottom falls out and they lose one game and it's, oh no, they're not who we are. Josh Allen's coasted on this and blah, blah, blah. And it's like all that good, everything that it took to get to that point in one game. They don't do that with Aaron Rodgers. They don't do that with Lamar. They don't even do it with Baker. Like people are still making excuses for Baker Mayfield. It's just it's tough. It was really tough hearing that cornerback from the Jags say that they look lackluster and that was the spark they gave them, because it's like, man, this team has been the dog, like the underdog for so many years, and specifically the players on this team are all like misfit toys, man. And they came there, best versions of themselves, built up this great atmosphere and like a really solid, lovable, hardworking team. And to hear that, I was like, I hope that's bogus. I hope that wasn't like the Bills taking it for granted, because they lived that life for so long where they were the team that was taken for granted, so I would think that wouldn't be the case. But
all right, you'd hope not. Inactives and actives, guys. The list is out. Like we always say, it's going to come in towards the end of the show. Swank, to your point earlier, even the announcer said last week when Zach Moss went out, our next running back is Taiwan, and I'm not sure if he's going to be an effective running back. So to your point, the Bills are coming with 4 running backs today.
Damn.
Singletary, Moss, Breida, and Taiwan Jones. So my man Mario Williams is not on there.
Mario.
I'm sorry, Antonio. Mario Williams. Boogie Basham,
big ass running back.
Boogie Basham and F.A. Obata are active.
Sweet.
And as expected, tight end Knox and Spencer Brown are active after missing 2 games from injuries. So, guys, there's our active inactives. Cam Lewis, who was brought up to the roster, is also inactive. And Tremaine Edmonds is out, and Brandon Bryant, our defensive tackle, is out. And we already know Starlin Tullier is on the COVID thing. So there's our inactives for the day. Dawson Knox, Spencer Brown are in. We are coming with 4 running backs just in case, like you said, Swank, if he gets Zach Moss gets hit and got a little bit of a headache, you keep him out the rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fact that Breida is there, look for a little change of pace when he's out there. I hope Dayball doesn't get caught up knowing that Breida's out there, because that's a hell of a tell, right? Third down, Breida out there, it's going to him.
Yeah.
Right. So don't rely on giving Breida the ball on that 3rd and long, because of the defense is going to snuff that out. Speaking of, coaches, Frazier, how do you think he's going to treat Mike White? How do you think he's going to treat? I know we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but is Frazier licking at the chops? You know what I mean? Do you think
he should be releasing the hounds? These young kids should be flying right at him. I mean, look what happened to Tua week 1. That's the defense that I want to see. I want to see Epinesa. I want to see Groot. I want to see Boogie. I want to see all those dudes, and I want him to just point at him and be like, "You put him on his ass." And
so that's a cheerleader's favorite cheer there, Swank, is be aggressive, be aggressive, right?
Yeah.
The cheerleader fans out there, let me know if I did that right. Snaps like that. But no, I want to see that same defense. We haven't seen that defense in a while.
Yeah.
That aggressive defense, having the corners come off the edge and just wreaking havoc. Speaking of mismatches, Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders are going against Hall, which is the Jets' number 1 corner, and a rookie is the number 2 corner in Eccles.
How do you have a field day? They should have an absolute field day. He should be dropping bombs over their heads all day long. Like, that's it. You know what? So we haven't talked about this. What are the Jets line? What are they going to do? They're going to try and put pressure on Josh all day. They're going to try and get in his face all day. They're going to send blitzes all day. You know, and they have to have an answer for that. They have to have a counter. It goes back to Dable. But you can guarantee after the last 2 games, they are going to put people in Josh Allen's face as often and as hard as they can.
Because it has been effective.
Yeah. Just like it is against every quarterback. You know, even the mobile ones. You know, so I feel like you got to loosen them up. I'd love to see in the first, I don't want to see a running play first down. I don't want to see that. I want to see them bomb it down the field. I want to see at least a 30-yard out, you know, like something like that to loosen it up, to be like, all right, we're not playing gun shy anymore. We're going at it. We're coming for your throat. I don't care. We'll put up these points and let's see what your backup quarterback's got, you know.
Hey, Swank, my bold prediction for this week was 2+ 50-yard touchdown passes.
You did do that. I like that.
Here's the
first
whole
quarter.
Win the first 2 possessions.
Yeah.
We got any comments coming in with the Fandemonium there, Swank, that you see?
Yeah, buddy. We got Lisa saying Bills by 50. John said, I'd like to hear AJ's name a lot today. And a couple of key players out, but still pretty healthy at this point in the season. Paul Rossi says, hoping Brown's nastiness brings the line together today. Some running lanes and more than 2 seconds to throw. Absolutely. I mean, you know, that same smart, big-hearted, go Bills Fandemonium that we always have, man.
So here's the thing. What do I always preach about winning the AFC East, right? That's the best way in the playoffs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Easiest way in the playoffs. And I don't know what the Patriots are doing. They're winning games. They're making it hard. We're only up a half a game. And that's because the Patriots hasn't had their bye week yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tougher division than a lot of people have anticipated. And the best way to do it is you got to start beating up on your AFC East rivals. This game is very important. I think in two main factors, this game is important. You need to rebound from last week from losing to the 1-7 Jaguars, 1-6 at the time, I can't remember, and do something against the 2-6 Jets.
Oh yeah.
So there's that factor. And like I said on the K-Ground report, even if we beat up on the Jets, we're still going to have fans that said, first of all, it was the Jets. And second of all, hey, they still lost to the Jaguars. So it may not be even if we blow them out, we may not still have people convinced. So you need to do that. You need to beat up on the Jets and just to get your respect back. And obviously you need to go up at more than just a half a game in the AFC East. I know the Jets and Miami are making it pretty easy for us, but like I said, the Patriots are half a game behind. And I'm trying to find out who the Patriots are playing. This week might actually be their bye week.
I can look it up.
You can look it up? All right. So Fandemonium, man, what do you think? I mean, you hate to be lackluster and say, okay, let's just win the AFC East. But that's, again, where it starts. You have to win the AFC East. First week bye would be wonderful, right? And I think we still have great potential for that. Pre-game has started. Awesome. Yeah. First week bye, only one team gets it in the AFC, so that's very important. That loss to the Titans is going to be a damper. And, you know, that might be one of those factors that make us so we don't have that first week bye. But the home field advantage part, you know, you want to play a couple games in the playoffs now that we have those fans. We need to start putting a bunch of games, a bunch of wins together. We have the Jets this week. We need to focus just on the Jets. Jets, Jets, the Jersey Jets. So those of you guys that are listening, hey, this is the Sunday sessions with Scott and Swank. We do that because I had my first beer of the day. That's why I like doing it. And I just told you the active roster. Swank, do we know who they're playing yet?
Yep, Browns.
They're playing the Browns.
Browns at 1.
See, that's one of those, like I said, you win the AFC East, right? But that's one of those pain in the ass games that you're like, well, we don't want the Browns to keep winning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to win the AFC East. So come on, Browns. We're rooting for the Browns this week, guys.
Not me. I'm rooting for a tie. But yeah. I mean, it's the Patriots are sneaking up there, man, and You gotta stay ahead of things. This is a big game for us. As minute as it may seem, the Dolphins beat the Ravens, which helped us last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Browns Patriots, man, it's almost a wash, But I think we do need the Patriots to be down another game. I'd like to put some more separation between us, because if the Browns win out and even become the 1 seed, that doesn't affect us as much as if the Patriots win out and are the top of the AFC East. So
Take our damn spot.
yeah.
Yep.
But,
And winning that East gives us a home game, so that's also the cool part.
Yeah.
Swank, man, I think we touched on everything I wanted to talk about this morning. Anything else you can add in there?
No, man. I just wanted to say, thanks for hanging out with us for another Sunday session, episode 2. We'll be doing it every week, 11:30 a.m. And don't forget to come and tune in for the K-Gun Report on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live and YouTube. And you can catch up on episodes on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We'll probably be putting these out too. Yeah, we have a lot of really cool stuff coming up. A big live show coming up December 5th with some really exciting things and a chance to help some people out. More on that later for sure.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mr. Mark Maddox coming back first week of December. Working on some more cool interviews, some more giveaways, stuff like that. So stay in touch. If you want stickers, DM us. If you want shirts, DM us. Yeah. Thanks so much for the support. Go Bills.
Go Bills. I just want to throw this out there, guys. Like I said, sunny, actually cloudy, 46 degrees. It's a bit of a boring day there in New York. Hopefully the Bills light some fire and warm it up in that stadium. We do have a lot of our offensive returners coming back. Spencer Brown and Knox are back. Moss is on the roster. We're carrying 4 running backs. We are a little banged up defensively. Letoulier went out on COVID today or yesterday. I'm just seeing it today. And obviously Tremaine Edmonds is out. So it's going to be a fun game to watch. For those who are at the stadium, hey, guys, scream so we can hear you. Wish we were there. And obviously check out the K-Gun Report every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Swank and I and Jared will be there talking Bills football. Stay safe. Enjoy the game today, guys. Cheers.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group.